Hi guys, welcome back to the Shannon Show. Hello if you're new. So today's video is going to be a review of Fauda Season 3, which just dropped today on Netflix. So recapping last season, Dorian gets out of that sticky situation that he was when he was kidnapped. Now in terms of what I thought this season was going to be, I thought of course they were going to continue the Israeli versus Palestinian conflict between the IDF and the Palestinian resistance. A lot of the people that we saw in season 2 are not present. We're set in an entirely new region of Palestine. We've got some new cast on the IDF. We've got some new cast members in terms of the Palestinian civilians, of members of the Palestinian movement / resistance. So the main storyline for this season is Dorian is back undercover in a new Palestinian region, and his goal is to get close to figure out the whereabouts of the local leader of the Palestinian resistance in that region. And to do that, he has befriended this young boxer, and that friendship that they have is the root cause of many of the issues and the problems and the main narrative in this season. As always, for those of you who haven't watched season 3 yet, you can expect the action, the drama, the loss, the tit for tat, the IDF coming up on top, the Palestinian resistance coming up on top. So it's a lot of the things that we have seen before, and I think that was what my biggest issue with this season was. I didn't enjoy this season as much as I enjoyed season 1 or season 2. Season 1 is my favourite. I think I'm not sure if there's ever going to be another season that's going to beat season 1. But it kind of felt like I had seen it before. I'd seen people getting blown up. I've seen, you know, people looking like they're going to end up dying but don't end up dying. We've seen people getting kidnapped. We've seen people getting interrogating, saying they're not going to talk, and then they get beaten twice and then they end up talking. We've seen it before, and I think it's getting a little bit repetitive and it's starting to get a little bit boring, in my opinion. I think objectively the script was good, the action was great, but it's the fact that I've seen it in season 2 and in season 1 that I didn't really enjoy it as much. But I'd be interested to hear from people who have watched season 3. Do you feel like it is getting a bit repetitive, it's getting a bit boring, or do you feel like the formula is just you're happy to receive the same formula again? Let me know what you think. There's some elements of the show that are not adding up for me, and I think the biggest one is the fact I don't understand how Dorian has been able to cheat death for so long. Like, you know, quite a few moments in this season where I'm like, how is he not dead? How did he manage to escape this situation? It's not realistic. It doesn't seem realistic to me that he wasn't even seriously hurt this season, considering the amount of situations, high stakes situations that he has been in, that Dorian is in this season. And I kind of think because obviously the actor who plays him, Lior Raz, is the creator of the season, I kind of feel like because that's his character, he doesn't want to kill the character, he doesn't want anything bad to happen to the character. And I'm not going to lie, if I was the creator of a series and I put myself in that series, I'm probably not going to want to kill myself off. So I understand that. But I think some of the situations that Dorian has put himself in and has managed to escape from and manages to escape from in this season is a bit unrealistic. I think it's pushing it a bit. Another thing that was unrealistic is that I don't understand how Dorian is able to get away with being undercover again in another Palestinian region. I just kind of feel like, do these people in the Palestinian resistance not talk with each other? Because how can he be able to go undercover again after being in another undercover mission, getting exposed and that causing such a ruckus? I'm not sure how he was able to get away with it going undercover again. And also some of the action, like the tit for tat, it's just not suspenseful for me. I feel like it's very clear what is going to happen when the IDF is involved, and there's only a few rare moments where things don't go the way that you think they're going to go. But I think in terms of how they make the IDF so powerful, so skillful, it kind of takes the magic and suspense out of things, like how we saw in season 1, where sometimes in season 1 the Palestinian resistance would get one up on the IDF, but it felt like this season we were just kind of watching the IDF murk the Palestinians. It was just kind of like there was no suspense here. There was no, oh, are they going to slip up? It just wasn't entertaining for me. There wasn't enough suspense there. I think maybe it would have worked a bit better if there was a bit more balance between the wins and the losses, maybe. The acting, of course, was solid, as it always is. There was some side storylines that I couldn't really get down with, like the affairs that were going on this season. Maybe it's because I'm a Shireen and Duran stan. But yeah, I didn't really care for some of the love affairs that were going on. There was also one storyline where they touched on it really briefly about postpartum depression, but they literally focused on it for about 2 episodes and suddenly the person was cured from it. So I thought, again, that was a bit unrealistic, a bit rushed. Like, that's not how it goes down in real life. So I'm not really sure why they decided to throw that in there if they weren't going to tackle it properly. Aside from it being repetitive, everything was pretty much solid. The acting was solid, the action was solid, the cinematography was great, as it always is. I think the ending was pretty decent, but not as gripping as the ending for season 2 and season 1. In terms of next season, I think they definitely have to switch it up a bit more. Like I said, it's just getting a bit repetitive. I'm not really sure what else they can do, because I feel like that is the cool storyline, the whole Palestinian-Israeli conflict. I feel like I preferred the first location that they were in. I preferred the first cast of the Palestinian people. The second cast was decent, but I don't know, it didn't have that same chemistry, the same spark, you know, the same rivalry. I don't know. What do you guys think? But yeah, what do you guys think about the new setting and the new cast? Do you like them, or do you prefer the old cast? I'd be interested to hear from people who have watched it. If next season is just going to be the same as this season, I think maybe people are going to start to lose interest and click off. For me, watching it wasn't as enjoyable as it was for season 1. I think watching this season definitely wasn't as enjoyable as it was for me for season 1 and 2, and I think it has lost a bit of its spark, it's lost a bit of its novelty. I'd be really interested to hear from people who have watched it. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you think it was okay? Did you think it was getting a bit repetitive? I'd be interested to hear from you guys. And for those of you who haven't watched it, are you excited about season 3? Did you have any reservations before watching this review about season 3? Despite the things that I didn't agree with, it is still a good show. They definitely need to switch it up a bit to keep me engaged. Obviously, I'm still going to watch it for review purposes, but I think they definitely need to do a little more to keep it interesting and engaging. So taking everything into account, I'm going to give it half marks, 2.5 out of 5. The fact that it was just getting repetitive made it a bit boring, which kind of ruined the experience a bit for me, so I have to knock it down. For me, I think 2.5 is justified for me. But yes, for those of you who have watched it, let me know what you thought of this season. Let me know what you thought of my review, and let me know what you'd rate this season out of 5. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you have, don't forget to press that notification bell so you know when the next review is dropping. Till next time, guys, bye.